Hello and welcome everybody back to Lowell Park for Game 27 of the Cotuit Kettleers season. They face off against the YD Red Sox for the fourth time in this season. The last time you'll see the Red Sox, barring a meeting in the championship, they are 2-1 over the Red Sox to this point, but Cotuit coming off of a big victory last night against the Chatham Anglers.
It was a great win over the Anglers. That one off in Chatham, and it really came down to the wire. It was tied 2-2 heading into the ninth inning, and both teams unable to play to run, but were threatening in the ninth inning. Cotuit got 2 runners on with 1 out, and then back-to-back putouts by Jacob Turner squashed any threat. And then Jonathan Edelman came onto the bump to close things out for Cotuit, proceeded to allow 3 straight base runners, loading the bases with no one out, and then buckled down and retired 3 straight to end the ninth, and then extra innings prevailed. Cotuit scored 2 in the top of the 10th, and then Edelman back out on the mound again, shut things down for the Kets in the bottom of the 10th, who walked away with a 4-2 win.
Edelman pitched a near-perfect final frame. He intentionally walked a batter, Reed Stallman, but other than that, he got rid of the side, retired everybody almost in order. So with that, Brooke Kilgore, our sideline reporter, spoke to him last night. Look to see what he said about his outing.
Brooke Kilgore here following a 4-2 victory over the Chatham Anglers. I'm here with closing pitcher Jonathan Edelman. First of all, congratulations on closing out that 10-inning stretch there.
Thank
what
you.
was it like being on the mound? You know, you had your bases loaded in the top of the ninth, and then you come out and do incredibly in the 10th.
It's really important to kind of stay pitch by pitch early. Couldn't land the cutter early, but went to the spin, slider. Just got to find the pitch that worked today, and the slider was the one that was it.
Mm-hmm. What are some of those thoughts that you have on the mound when you know you've got the bases loaded? What helps you stay calm out there?
Just focus on pitch by pitch. If you kind of get too far ahead of yourself, you're going to get lost in it. But if you go one pitch at a time, it kind of keeps you grounded and it keeps you ready for each pitch.
A big accomplishment tonight. You guys are now tied for first in the West Division. What does it mean to you knowing that you helped project your team to that point?
Feels great. Anytime you can help the team win and go up in the stand, and it's awesome.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That game last night propelled the Kettleers to an 11-12-2 record, tied points-wise at the top half of the West Division with Wareham at 24 apiece. Again, I'm Connor Shue, joined by Chris Albright and the third member of our crew, Brooke Kilgore. For this presentation of Cape League Baseball, Cotuit is surging 8-3-1 in the month, and it was helped due to that win last night, but let's just talk about this calendar month as a whole. July has been very, very good to the Kets, Chris.
It really has been, and it's been for all aspects of the Kettleers. You go into this game against Chatham last game, and the Kettleers are top of the leaderboard in pretty much every hitting category in the month of July, leading as a team in average, leading as a team in on-base percentage, leading as a team in slugging, all by substantial margins. That continued again last night, but then on the different side of the same coin, you could say, you look at the Kettleers pitching, and it's also lived up to par for the course throughout this month of July. They currently boast a league best 3.60 sub ERA in the month of July, which just continued to get better last night against Chatham after only allowing 2 earned runs. So it's really been a great month all around for the Kettleers.
And they were similarly good on the hill back in June, a 353 team earned run average, but the hitting side changed so drastically. Their triple slash line from June was 219, 332, 255. They had 12 extra base hits the entire month, 1 long ball. And in July to this point, they're already over 30 extra base hits, 32 to be exact. 12 home runs is second in the league. And like you said, the triple slash line is the top mark on Cape for the month of July. And a big part of that has been guys like Jack Natilli finding their swing. He was the most recent Cape League Player of the Week after hitting over 600 last week. You know, not too bad.
Not bad at all. He was actually, well, he is the reigning Cape League Player of the Week. So he's got a lot of pop in his bat, and he's really able to propel this Kettleers offense into the next level, you could say. A team that's been averaging just around 8 runs per game in the month of July, and that includes a game where the Kets played in 19 against the Brewster Whitecaps.
That was really it was the offensive high watermark this season for Lauren Hibbs' squad, who's been so grateful. We've been so grateful for him to devote his time to us two and Brooke throughout the season. Here's what he had to say after last night's contest against Chatham.
Brooke Kilgore here following a 4-2 win over the Chatham Anglers. I'm here with manager Lauren Hibbs. Coach, first of all, what an amazing turnaround. A little bit of a slump coming out of that top of the second inning, and you guys just dominate in the 10th. What did you see out there tonight?
Well, we did a great job with our pitching staff of matching their pitching because their left-hander out of the bullpen was unbelievable. Like we just had, nobody was taking good swings off him. And then we also played tremendous defense. So when you match them pitching-wise and you play really good defense, they've got a good team. I mean, their infield defense is one of the best in the league. They move around, they make plays. And then, we hung around long enough that the door opened there in the 10th. And, Stevens had a good at-bat, and we had some other good at-bats after that. And then Adelman was good the second inning out there. So a little challenging there after we gave up a double and then 2 walks. And then he strikes some really good hitters out. But good effort. We used a lot of guys off the bench. We used a lot of guys out of the bullpen, so it's a good team effort.
Of course, kind of, you mentioned there in the bottom of the ninth or top of the 9th inning where at least Adelman had 3, bases loaded out there, and you guys went out there and talked to him a little bit. What do you think changed in him to get you guys through that 10th inning?
He just started throwing his slider really good. I mean, he's got a good slider, and I was ejected the last time he threw, so this is the first time I've seen him throw live. So I was dependent on OC on Tim, our pitching coach. He's like, Coach, he's got a really good slider, and we just need to stay with him. So that's what we did. Ended up being the right decision, but it's always about the players. Our guys kind of dug down and came through tonight.
Thinking back to the last time we were here in Chatham, we looked at it. It was almost over a month ago. We're in a little bit of a slump here with the Cotuit Kettleers, and now you guys are tied for first in the West Division. What growth have you seen from this team so far?
Well, we've gotten better. We were not very good early in the summer. And, we've hung with some guys. We didn't start playing revolving door with our roster, and I think we're seeing some dividends of that here the last couple of weeks. So I honestly only look at the standings maybe once or twice this whole summer just to kind of get an idea and a gauge kind of where we're at. But I'll look at it at the end of the season. We got another tough game again tomorrow, another one again on Thursday and Friday, but we're just going to focus on tomorrow.
One final question for you. You had one guy go in the draft this season, Reed Mooring, and then 2 guys, Charlie Walker and Mason Davenport, signed free agency deals today. What does that say about your time here as a head coach and the team that you've created?
Well, happy for those kids. And, reached out to all of them, and they're elated. And, Charlie's still here and really happy for him. And, Reed's back in California, and then Davenport. So just happy for all of them, happy that we could provide, we being Cotuit, could provide an opportunity for them to continue to grow. And now they're going to be professional baseball players, and that's really cool. And we got several guys playing for us right now. This time next year, are going to be doing the same thing. So really happy with some of the development that we've had over the course of the summer, not only with our position players, but with our pitchers. And that's a big deal for us. We want to try to help these kids get better.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Coach.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Chatham, Cotuit beat them last night. They're going to come out here to try and beat the YD Red Sox in their 4th matchup against them this season. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the broadcast. Connor Shue, Chris Albright, Brooke Kilgore for this presentation of Cape League Baseball. Coming up to bat first will be the YD Red Sox. How do they stack up with the lineup, Chris?
I'll give you a little bit of a hard time for the Chatham. The season's flying by, partner.
I didn't play it off? Come on.
No, you did.
Unreal.
I know, it was great. It was great. You played it off perfectly, I will say that. But, yeah, you're right, partner. The season's flying by, and it seems like, we blink and we're over halfway there. And I will say, for the YD Red Sox, the lineup has been fairly consistent throughout this season. So as we look at it, there are some familiar faces in there as well. Leading things off for YD, Jomar Carreras, who has seen action against Cotuit so far this season. The switch hitter will be playing second base today. Chris Hakopian bats second. He is playing third base for the Red Sox. Sean Yamaguchi doing the designated hitting duties today, hitting from the 3 spot. Dean Carpentier bats fourth. He's playing first base. 5 through 6 and 7, Braden Dowd, Garrett Wright, and Connor Capisi. Dowd in center field, Wright in left field, and Capisi doing the catching. Will Baker and Jack Bell round out the starting 9. Baker in right field and Bell at shortstop.
And they'll hit against Peyton Manka in his 4th start as a Cotuit Kettleer, his 5th outing. He is the only Cape League All-Star pitcher for the Cotuit Kettleers, so it's always fun to see him out on the hill these days.
Well, for good reason. He's had a solid summer so far for the Kettleers, one that has been, I don't think it's unfair to say, one that has been a big step up from what he was doing at Florida State. Coming into the Kettleers season, he wrapped up his year pitching for the Seminoles and had solid numbers at FSU. He wrapped up a year where he spun a .656 ERA over 13 appearances and just about 23 innings. But you look at what he's done on Cape. Through 16 innings flat, he's only allowed 3 earned runs. He's struck out 12, only walked 8. That's led to a 1.69 ERA. One of the lowest amongst Cotuit starting pitchers, and he's overall just had a fantastic summer, looking to do the same here today.
He's been incredible. Pitches against a solid YD lineup that hits for the top team in the East Division. They're 14-9-2 in this one. How do the Kettleers defend behind Manka?
From first base to third, it's Case Sanderson, Ryan Farber, the sure-handed second baseman, Luke Matthews, and Camden Johnson. Outfield from left field to right, Dean West, Caden Bogenpole, and Nolan Stevens. And then getting the catching nod today, Luke Lavin.
Kettleers back with 3 catchers for the first time in a couple weeks since Anderson French got released, but they got Taggart Tyson in the fold now as a part of that catching tandem with Natili and Luke Lavin. And Luke Lavin actually pinch hit last night, worked a walk, and was a big part of that late inning rally against Chatham.
Well, he was. He was also the catcher with Jonathan Edelman, giving him the signs. And at the very end of Edelman's 9th inning, that was the one where he retired 3 straight after loading up the bases. The first person to get up to Edelman and congratulate him, giving him a hard pat on the back, was Luke Lavin, there for the moral support after a tough inning where Edelman could have easily folded under the pressure, but Lavin's such a good piece behind the dish, not just defensively, but mentality-wise too, because he's been here the entire season. He's known a lot of the guys up on the mound.
He can manage the staff and he can manage the clubhouse, and I feel like that's always why they say catchers make great managers. These guys always tend to be the most level-headed in the dugout and out on the field, and always seem to show themselves as leaders. And I think Luke Lavin has certainly done that to this point in a Cotuit uniform. Here comes Jomar Carreras to lead things off for YD. He's the switch-hitting shortstop or second baseman today. Can play shortstop. Hitting right-handed against Peyton Manka. The umpiring crew today, Jake Brickta at home, Jin Fonseca at first, and Jeffrey Kinney at third. Game number 27 underway momentarily. Peyton Manka, his first pitch, Lifted into left field, a base hit for Carrera's first pitch at 5 o'clock local time after the leadoff single by Jomar Carreras.
Carreras in the last game against Cotuit that YD played, he actually wasn't a part of the lineup card. You have to go back to the game that was at Cotuit at the very start of this month, July 1st, where he saw some playing time, and it's only increased throughout the season for Carreras.
He's become a big part of this team. He's been here for almost the entire season. Make a pickoff move for Carreras. He's always willing to steal. For the Red Sox, who bring up Chris Hakopian. After him, it'll be Sean Yamaguchi, playing in his second game as a Red Sox. Hakopian's one of the guys who's been here all year, transferring to Texas A&M out of Maryland. He bats right-handed. Hakopian to this point, a .243 batting average, .341 on base percentage, .324 slug. 18 base hits, one of the top marks on the team. First pitch strike dealt by Peyton Manka. Manka settles, staring down the runner at first. Dropped a curveball a little low.
Copian's got great plate discipline as well. This season, he's been walked 10 times. He's only struck out 3 in the now 23 games he's played for YD.
Manka, the 1-1, outside. Hakopian, batting average below .250. He was very good at Maryland this year, hitting well over .300. He was an all-Big Ten type of player at the hot corner. That's where he's playing tonight. The pitch, crushed into left field. That's going to get down towards the gap. Chasing it down is the left fielder West. Coming around second into third is the runner Carreras. And sliding into second with a double is Chris Hakopian.
Well, the Red Sox are wasting no time to jump into the hitting department. They've been attacking Manka's pitches that are well within the zone and putting solid contact on it. I mean, it's back-to-back base hits that have been great pieces of hitting from now Carreras and Hakopian.
And Manka's a guy who's pitched to a lot of contact this summer, but we haven't seen him get hit hard this early yet. Looking to stop the bleeding against Sean Yamaguchi, the designated hitter out of Nevada. Manka fires home. Hit in the air, chasing it down is Bogenpol. It drops well in front of him. That'll score 1. Carreras, Hakopian making the turn, and he's going to be in there well in time to score in the top of the first with no outs on a Sean Yamaguchi single. 2-0 YD.
Well, again, Red Sox just continuing to hit well. I mean, Carreras was scoring easily on that, and then Caden Bogenpol had a bit of a bobble out in center field, allowing Hakopian to score as well. But Yamaguchi is just showing what every YD hitter has so far, which is confidence in the box. They're not waiting for a pitch that they like. They're swinging to the baseball.
Here comes another tough out. Dean Carpentier, .928 OPS this summer. The home run leader for YD with 3. The first baseman is in the portal out of USC. Former teammates with the man who's batting after him, Braden Dowd. Another former Trojan, now in the portal. The pitch, swing and a miss on the high cheese. Manka searching for that first out. Infield playing fairly even against Carpentier, the righty. Peyton Manka missed his full freshman season at Florida State after an injury and just started pitching again this past spring, so he's really starting to find his groove now on Cape.
Well, he had ample time off where he wasn't able to throw after getting surgery done on his pitching arm, and his bounce back has been impressive to see. It doesn't look like he skipped a beat out there.
Only 3 earned runs allowed in 16 innings. Coming to this one as that bat went flying out of the hands of Dean Carpentier and over the Cotuit dugout. It's 3-2.
I have to check out Cape Cod Airport if they got that on their radar. That bat went flying.
Could see a couple people duck over in the Cotuit dugout after that one hit the screen above. So it's a full count for Carpentier, the right-handed slugger. Manka look at first, fires, swung straight back. Manka 6'6", 250 on the hill. Some would call him the big ticket.
Oh, man.
Manka, 3-2. Swung straight back once again. Who's the number 3 overall pitcher in Massachusetts coming out of high school. Comes from Winchendon. He's working in a tough 3-2 count. Oh my gosh. Big ticket has been a frequent one here. That's just outside, ball 4, and Peyton Manka has put all 4 base runners on to this point.
Well, I chuckle a little bit because I think that's a self-given nickname by Peyton Manka. So anytime that, we say something that a player typically refers to himself as, it's always one of those where you just let out a slight chuckle.
Tim O'Connor's out there to meet with him. A little checkup after getting roughed up slightly early on in this outing. Jake Brichto only had to barely get on the infield grass to stop that mound meeting. Everyone heading back to their positions. Braden Dowd is the batter, swinging it left-handed. The center fielder previously played his ball at USC. Dowd is manning center field today for the Red Sox. Two on, here's the pitch. Bullseye.
And for Manka, that's what he needs. Just getting ahead in a count early. Big step in that battle to get the first out.
Manka checks second. Another good pitch on the outer half. This was called a ball, though. Manka's had good control this summer. Only 8 walks issued in 16 innings. That's to 12 strikeouts. Lifted hard on a line out to center field. Drops in front of Bogenpole. That's going to score another run. Or no. Staying at third was Sean Yamaguchi. Looked like he had plenty of time to get in, but did not want to test the arm of Caden Bogenpole.
Bogenpole has a cannon out in center field. He's 6'6", and he can really put some power on the baseball in his throws. So you don't want to test the arm of him early on, maybe especially because you don't have any outs. You have some ground to play with, and the way the bats have been swinging for YD, why risk running into an out?
5 straight have reached to start this one for YD. Here's Garrett Wright, swings and misses on the first pitch. He's a catcher/outfielder from Bowling Green State University. On his way to Tennessee, though. And it's a deserved step up. That's no slight to the MAC, but Sanderson's going to give that one a look at a play. But the SEC is no joke, and I think it's safe to say they are the class of college baseball.
I would have to agree. I know there's much debate on where college baseball runs through at a collegiate level, but the SEC just continues to produce talent.
The 0-2, high fastball, and Wright probably projects more as a corner outfielder there. Played catcher at Bowling Green, though, and he hit just below 400 in each of his 2 seasons there, 396 and 398. Looping curve, oh, that's just outside. Or it got him very Very reserved strike 3 call by the home plate umpire, Jake Brickta. Totally caught me off guard.
Well, he was pretty nonchalant with it. I don't think anyone realized until Garrett Wright started walking back to the dugout, and then Cotuit fans were able to clap and cheer.
Manka pitches with 1 out now. First pitch strike to Connor Capisi, catcher out of Creighton. We saw him in one of his first games last time we played YD. In that 8-2 victory on the road, he smashes one out into the left center field gap. It gets down a base hit. That brings home 1. Now 2. All 3 runners coming home to score a bases clearing double has made it a 5-0 ball game in YD's favor.
Now Capisi just continuing the train of good hitting. That ball was belted to the left center field gap, and one hopped up against the fence, and everyone just with a full head of steam. It was kind of funny to watch. Dean Carpentier, before he even crossed home plate, he's turning around and giving the windmill to Braden Dowd, motioning him home.
He was maybe a couple feet behind him. In tow to score 1 of 3 runs on that double. So Capis steps on second. That's hit through the hole. Another base hit. Will Baker with a single. And Capis is going to slam on the brakes. A fake down to second. Baker stole an extra base off that one.
Everything going right for YD so far. Hitting, base running wise. I mean, they're just piecing together great at bats, and it's bled throughout the entire lineup card.
5 runs have scored in this frame. There's only 1 out. So they give Baker the single, and he advanced on the throw home. Runners on second and third for Manka. Bottom of the order, it's Jack Bell. Man, if you're Peyton Manka right now, what is your approach?
Just work out to out. That's all you can do. We've seen how outs can come quick.
The 0-1. Trying to get Bell to swing at some stuff low in the dirt. Jack Bell is hitting 162 this summer. 6 for 37 to this point in 16 games with YD. A lefty-lefty matchup. Swings and misses. He played his college ball at TCU this past year. It was a solid campaign. 830 OPS, 5 homers, 6 doubles, 3 triples. Here's the 2-1. Lifted high, foul. Bell in his second year on Cape as well. Last summer he played with Falmouth.
Give a quick shout out to the fan that caught that foul ball in the grandstands. Did it barehanded.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Manka, his second strikeout.
Now that's how he's racking up the outs here in this first inning. Both have been punch outs. He's throwing around the zone, as evident with those punchies, but the problem is when you continually throw around the zone, you're going to get some contact here and there, and YD has taken advantage.
Manka pitching to Carreras. First offer's high. Still pitching with 2 men on. Now with 2 outs, though. Man, YD has just jumped all over the Cats early. 5 runs in this inning. Here's the 1-0. Carreras started off this inning. He singled, came around to score. So the Red Sox batting around in the first. Carreras playing his college ball at Rutgers. We each got to see him at school. Swings and misses on that one. Played Grand Canyon as well as Ohio State. And he was that secondary leadoff guy hitting the 9-hole. Against us, at least. The 1-2. Way outside.
I only got to see him one game. In his first plate appearance, he tweaked. It looked like his ankle when running to first base stepped on the safety bag. The recently added second base at first base at the collegiate level. Didn't see him again.
He's worked a 3-2 count. 255 average with the Scarlet Knights in his freshman season. 5 homers, 6 doubles. 42 base knocks. The 3-2 from Manka. Swung and fouled straight back. Carreras re-enters. 2 down, 3-2 count. 5 runs to YD's total in the first frame. Liner towards short, gloved on a hop. Throws in time from Matthews to retire the side, but 5 runs score for YD. They're up 5 YD, Cotuit nothing going into the bottom of the first.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
At Cape Cod Healthcare, we're committed to excellence and compassion in everything we do, like helping people maintain their active lifestyles. Our innovative orthopedic program combines advanced techniques and leading-edge technology with highly specialized teams, including our nationally recognized Center of Excellence for Joint Replacement. Our focus is getting you back to doing the things you love, in the place you love.
The Center of Excellence and the quality of care that we can deliver makes all the difference to the patients. They understand that they can get the best care right here on Cape Cod.
We're offering 0% for 60 months on CAT's new lineup of compact track loaders. That's 0% for machines that have been redesigned from the ground up. 0% for new features and big comfort.
Nice cab, heated seat, great machine.
0% for more power and performance.
Picked up a big 4,000-pound block like it was nothing.
0% for work tools too. But there's a 0% chance this offer will last. So contact Milton Cat before there's 0 time left.
Michael Catalano takes the hill for the first time in this one for the YD Red Sox. Pitching against the Cavaliers at home. YD up 5-0. Cats have quite the hole to dig themselves out of here, Chris.
Well, it wasn't the most ideal of first innings for the Kettleers, but I mean, in a league where you see plenty of offense, it's kind of shocking how quick a 5-run lead can dissipate. So that is the silver lining for the Kettleers. But they've got the Red Sox have a man up on the bump who can throw strikes and strike batters out. Michael Catalano, through just 14 2/3 innings this season, has already struck out 22 batters. He's only walked 5.
Catalano, who does he pitch to here, Chris?
It'll be Dean West, Caden Bogenpole, Ryan Farber, the middle third, Nolan Stevens, Jack Natilli, who's DHing, and Camden Johnson. And the bottom third of the lineup card, Luke Matthews, Case Sanderson, and Luke Lavin.
Michael Catalano, his second start against the Kettleers. In his first one, it was actually the last time they met. 4 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, no runs allowed, 3 strikeouts. Cotuit did come out victorious, though, 8-2 after Jack Natilli hit a grand slam off of Jack Nobe out of the pen.
It was a great way to just attack relief pitching from the get-go, and that's what really spurred Jack Natilli's great week, which got him Cape League Player of the Week.
It's a 1-1 count to West. Got an off day yesterday. The Bruin is hitting .330 so far this summer. A lot of success on Cape to this point for him.
It's been success, especially when he's able to reach base. Seen him come around to score a good amount of times, and it's some smart base running. Hasn't quite seen it in the stolen base department, though, yet.
He's looking at a 2-1 count. His biggest asset so far this summer has probably been his plate discipline. 8 walks in 13 games, a .451 on base percentage. Here comes the 2-1 from Catalano. A strike. West, the left-handed swinging left fielder. Kets have trotted him out in center a couple of times, but left is his natural spot. Here's the 2-2. Up and away. .333 batting average this summer for West. Only one extra base hit, but that's not his game. The 3-2 swung on, just fouled off the catcher's mask of Connor Capice. How necessary do you think it is for the Cats to get a leadoff base runner here?
That's a good first step.
The 3-2. Another foul.
I mean, especially with a Kettleers team that has seen recent success in bringing runners home. They've jumped up in the batting average with runners in scoring position stat as of recent. At one point in the season, Kets were hitting .083 in that category.
Dean West is the first base runner for the Kettleers. Works a long count. And then he got a fastball inside. Looked at it the whole way.
And now West is evened up on the season. 9 walks, 9 strikeouts. Talk about great plate discipline from the Bruin.
He's got one of the best eyes on the team. And this is a Cape League team that is one of the best in the league as a whole at taking pitches. Here's another guy who walks a lot. Caden Bogenpole. High tapper towards short. Throwing to first in time was Jack Bell.
Bell had to range a great distance to make that play. Like you said, Connor, a high tapper off the bat of Bogenpole. Got on top of that baseball, and Dean West with some speed able to get to second. No chance at turning 2 for YD.
Ryan Farber steps in. Switch hitter batting left-handed. A .301 batting average for him this summer. 1 of 4 Cotuit All-Stars. Catalano a check of second. A first pitch strike. Dean West is a willing runner out there. However, he hasn't had the most success trying to steal bags. 2 for 7 to this point, and that number, the second number, is inflated due to getting picked off 3 times to this point. Saw it off towards left. That gets down a base hit. West trots into third. A single for Ryan Farber.
Yeah, Cotuit has done a good job of getting runners on the bases this inning. West and Farber now dancing on the corners, and if you want to match that 5 spot from YD, you have to piece together the base hits.
Power bat Nolan Stevens prepares to step in. He went 1 for 5 last night, but he might have had the most important hit of the ball game. Hit a bouncing single through the right side to score the winning run for the Kettleers in the top half of the 10th. He actually scored Ryan Farber, who's on first. Man, what a finish that game was. Jonathan Edelman loaded the bases in the 9th for the Kettleers. Managed to get himself out of it. That's through the third baseman on the left side. Scores a run. Stevens safe at first. So the Kettleers get 1. Retired at second is Farber. 5-1 ball game.
It was a good play from the left side of the infield again for YD. Just going with the easy out to second base. I don't need to force anything. Don't want to try to get too fancy. And the Red Sox are doing a good job of protecting this 5-run lead that's now been cut down to 4.
Here's Jack Natilli. First pitch outside to him. He's been pitched to much more gingerly lately after his red-hot start to the month of July. He took 2 walks last night and got hit by a pitch.
You can't throw anything over the zone to him.
Seems like his approach has been shortened up a little bit. It's been a lot more singles lately. but he keeps driving runs in, and all the singles have been hard hit for him. Hits that high out into right field. Baker has it measured for out number 3. Cats score 1 to answer. It's 5-1. YD up going into the top of 2.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team.
Safe.
The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Five to 1 ball game. YD has the advantage in the top of the second. Peyton Manka looking to buckle it down after he allowed 5 in the first.
Well, getting multiple innings out of Manka is a huge help to this Kettleers pitching staff that hasn't needed to use a lot of pitchers in the past couple of games. Against Hyannis, that game at Lowell Park just a couple of days ago, Cotuit only needed 2 arms to get through the 9-inning game. You look at what happened last night against Chatham, Cotuit needing 4 arms to get through the entirety of that game, so you don't want to extend too much into the bullpen in this one.
Manka going to try to go as long as he can. A first pitch ball to Chris Hakopian. Last night, the Kettleers brought out Ryan Buckler to start, and he got hit around a little bit in the middle of his start. In the second inning, allowed a home run. Only his second earned run allowed of the season. Allowed 2 over 3 innings, and then Gavin Jones, Kyle Remington, and John Edelman were incredible out of the pen. A total of almost 7 innings of relief. Jones went 2 1/3. Remington went around 3. Edelman had 2 himself.
And the most impressive thing about the relief pitching for Cotuit, all 3 relievers only allowed 1 combined hit.
And talk about the job Kyle Remington has done. Only, well, he hasn't allowed a hit yet this summer in over 7 innings. Impressive stuff. Manka, the 3-1 is fouled back.
And for Remington, that's an arm that typically you see contact pitchers, guys who might not rely on the strikeout as much. Remington, one of those, he's averaging just less than a strikeout per inning, but much like a lot of other arms on Cotuit, they get soft contact, which allows them to work those quick outs.
Team-wide, they tend to pitch to contact more often, like you said. The strikeout numbers are actually towards the bottom on Cape, but they don't need them. Chris Hakopian steps back in. He doubled his first time up. Came around to score as well. Here comes the 3-2. Laced foul.
Well, Cotuit pitching, on that note, averaging 7.7 strikeouts per game. That's 10th in this 10-team Cape League. So it is a factual statement to say that Cotuit pitchers strike out less batters than any other team in the Cape, but they have the lowest ERA, so they get the job done through that soft contact.
Manka, his 3-2. Swung on, hit towards the shortstop. Matthews fires all the way over for out number 1.
How about Matthews becoming a consistent everyday shortstop for the Kettleers? He's really grown into that position there, claiming it as his own, as there's been some shakeup in the middle infield this season for Cotuit.
I think we'll go off the diamond for a second. We've just been gifted a couple of Robert Stock Cotuit Kettleers cards by our intern coordinator, Leah Ridpath. Thank you, Leah. That's hit past Matthews. Gets down a base hit. It ate him up and just went over his shoulder.
It was a hard line drive off the bat of Yamaguchi. Really well struck, and Matthews able to get a glove on it. Just went too quick, popped off the top of it. Now, see, these Robert Stock cards, not to give anything away, but I think rumor has it he is at Lowell Park today. So we get to look at these baseball cards. Who knows? Maybe he'll be on the broadcast.
There have been rumblings.
Wouldn't that be crazy if we were gifted the Robert Stock baseball cards and he appeared on the broadcast today?
You might be a prophet, Chris. That just might happen. That's a ball to Dean Carpentier. He's hitting with a one-out base runner. Sean Yamaguchi on first. Stock was a two-time Cape League All-Star with Cotuit. Played at USC. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Carpentier.
Well, he was a two-way player. In 2007 for Cotuit, he was the starting catcher in the All-Star game, but looking at his card, it also says he led the Kettleers in saves that season.
You don't see players like him too often. That's a swing and a miss. Dean Carpentier strikes out, the third K for Manka today.
This inning has looked a lot better for Manka, who's appearing to be in a lot more command up on the mound, and the strikeouts are continuing for him as well.
Now it's Braden Dowd. He singled his last time up. Another Kettleer who eventually came around to score. Red Sox, jeez. He lifts one hard on a line out to right center field, giving chases. Bogenpole, he makes the grab on a run. Manka salvages and puts up a 0 here in the second. It's 5-1 YD over Cotuit going into the bottom of the second.
Dream it. If you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
After Peyton Manka put up his first 0 of the outing, Cotuit comes up to bat down 4. It's 5-1. They hit against Michael Catalano, Camden Johnson, Luke Matthews, and Case Sanderson, the men up 6 through 8 on the lineup card for Cotuit. Catalano allowed 1 run on 1 hit in his first frame. He walked 1 as well. Nolan Stevens drove in that run on a fielder's choice. Camden Johnson stepping in. He had 2 hits last night. To this point, he's hitting over 270. The first offer to Johnson. That's a ball. Johnson, the newly minted Oklahoma Sooner, is in there. Swings and misses. He's on his way there by way of Wichita State. And I feel like you can't even say newly minted anymore. It's been about a month since his commitment.
Well, it feels like time flies here on Cape in the summertime, but I mean, in all actuality, he still hasn't suited up for Oklahoma yet. But for us, it just feels so familiar.
That's punched towards the shortstop. Out number 1 to Jack Bell.
Catalano has not needed a whole lot of pitches to get to the point where he's at now. He's currently sitting at 18. He only needed 15 to get through the first inning.
Despite allowing the run, he's been efficient. Cats have been swinging early and often. Luke Matthews, 11 RBIs in less than 10 games this summer. He has been driving them in. It's not often you get a big run producer from the 7-hole, which is where he's been hitting primarily.
Well, it helps when you have a lot of guys that can get on base for Cotuit, and it seems that no matter where Matthews is in the lineup, he's able to drive in runs just because he takes advantage of whatever situation he's gifted on the base paths.
Matthews tripled against the first pitch he saw. That feels like ages ago. Lines one foul. And that was in that game against YD, the last one that was here. They ambushed them in the first couple of innings and won 8-2.
Since then, Matthews has appeared in now 10 games.
Matthews from Kent State. He hit .350 this year at school. He's hitting .306 this summer. Here comes the 2-2. Outside. Matthews working a long count. Doesn't work a ton of walks. He's only worked 2 this summer to 9 strikeouts, but he's showing some good discipline in this count. The 3-2. Hit on a line, grounded towards short. Bell pumps fires in time.
It's been some quick outs that have been worked by Catalano. Again, not needing the strikeout, which is a bit unorthodox to see out of the righty. Came into this game averaging well above a strikeout per inning. He hasn't recorded one yet today.
In steps Case Sanderson for the first time. Had a hit last night. He's been playing first base for the vast majority of this season. Some of the only interruption in that, Anderson French and Rentaro Sasaki. Previous Kettleers getting some time in that spot. No longer with the team, though. That was a good breaking pitch. Into the left-hander, Sanderson. Solid crowd on hand. The home grandstand is full on the left side. On the right side, not quite as well populated. Maybe halfway full. Outfield is pretty empty from center to right field, although there's a lot of fans in the shade over and left. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Sanderson strikes out. A 1-2-3 frame for Michael Catalano. 5-1. YD is up as we go into the top of the third.
When we see our patient, our philosophy is to not just take care of the isolated pathology or problem that they're here for. We look at the care of a patient as the whole patient, how they hold hands with a spouse or partner, how they engage with their children or grandchildren. These are important things in the equation of how we decide optimal treatment for patients, whether that's non-operative or operative intervention. Every patient gets treated as a family member or as a pro athlete in our mind. We provide concierge level of care. That's how we want it done for our own, and that's what we continue to do here in the greater Boston area.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
the top of the third here at Lowell Park. Peyton Manka back out into the hill for his third inning of action. Works against the bottom half of the order for YD. Garrett Wright, Connor Capice, Will Baker all due up. Wright struck out looking. Connor Capice hit a bases clearing double. And Jack Bell struck out. In steps Garrett Wright, the catcher turned outfielder. And we welcome a guest to the booth here.
Can you hear me? Yeah, here we go. All right. Hey, I'm Robert Stock, former Kettleers player.
Welcome in, Robert. It's great to have you here. You were a Kettleer for 2 years, as that's popped up high and out of play. A big leaguer from 2018 to this year, and you have seen a lot of baseball. But since we're right here at Lowell Park, just tell us a little bit about your experience as a Ket.
Well, firstly, it doesn't beat, of all the baseball I've seen, I think Summers playing baseball on the Cape has to be at the top of the list. I mean, even for major league experiences, the feeling you get in this ballpark is so, old school. It feels like we're back in 1910 or 1910 playing baseball. So it's really surreal to be back and see what it's like.
That's smashed into left field, out number 1 to Dean West.
Well, you've really played just about everywhere, we will say. We looked at your baseball reference, and I think the list of teams and leagues is quite up there. You've spent time in the KBO in Korea. You spent time with the Mexican League and the Mexican Pacific Winter League. You spent time in indie ball. Can you just kind of talk about all the cool places that you've been to?
Yeah, there's everyone. There's baseball in every country and every place to be played, and I've gone there in search of jobs. So far everywhere I can go. So it's been quite the journey. It's very educational to see how they play baseball differently everywhere around. But it feels great to be back in the United States this year, playing in the Red Sox organization.
Out of your stops, different country, different league, wherever it may be, what do you think is the most unique style of baseball you've seen played, as that is given a charge out into left field? Be a can of corn for Dean West, but
it sounds kind of odd to say, but honestly, firstly, obviously, Major League Baseball is the most talented of any league that I've played in. But the style of power is unlike any other league. Every other league plays more kind of old school baseball, where hey, let's get on, move them over, score a run here or there. And Major League Baseball is saying that these pitchers are so good and so effective these days that we need to score our runs in bunches on one big swing coming after a walk or something like that. And it seems odd. It seems to some people it's not what they want to see, but it's what's effective. So that's why it exists.
And as a pitcher, does working in that environment kind of change how you operate on the mound?
Yeah, you have to know that the batters are going all in for home runs, right? But they also have decent eyes, and so you need to fill up the strike zones with as nasty as pitches you can get, because 1 through 9 they're all capable of hitting a home run.
I mean, you've got some power in your arm. I mean, consistently throwing above 100 miles per hour. Just as a pitcher, with that mindset up on the mound, what have been some of those differences you've seen, especially in Major League Baseball, in terms of your approach on the mound?
If you look at the average fastball for players with the years, it climbs every single year. And so when I was throwing 100 miles an hour in 2018, that was very fast. And every single year that gets less impressive, right? The hitters see it now like on a daily basis.
1-2-3 frame for Peyton Manka.
Sure. Let's do that.
We're having fun here, so we're gonna talk through the break if you don't mind.
Sounds good to me.
Well, we'll play the commercials later, but I think, and I will say, we'll talk about this during the break. We were gifted some baseball cards from the Cotuit Kettleers 07-08 season. Does that face look familiar to you at all?
Yeah, that looks like a much younger, potentially more handsome face than it is now.
Yeah, no one can see, but I'll describe it. You're wearing a batting helmet on top of the baseball cap. I will say that's a look I haven't seen all that much frequently, would you still rock that, the ball cap under the batting helmet?
I think that if you're in professional baseball, you can get a perfectly fitting helmet, right? It's going to fit you well. But back then, I don't know. I felt like it stayed on my head better that way. And no one told me not to do it. But I think I would get more flack from teammates nowadays if I did that.
I love the look. It's a great look. It sums up, I would say, Kettleers baseball, 07, 08. And those years, I mean, just fun times. We were talking beforehand. Back then, no one really had lights. So now 7 of the 10 teams here have lights at their ballparks. Has the overall vibe kind of just been the same, though? I know you've come back. You've gotten to see some familiar faces here. Has the overall vibe been similar?
Yeah, I mean, just I kind of referenced earlier, just the throwback to what it feels like traditional baseball would have been, 50, 70, 100 years ago. Feels like it's encapsulated here in Cotuit. And, I mean, no lights means that the game ends and you can go home and have like a family dinner, right? So it's hard to beat that, day in and day out. So I'm a fan of playing the early day games.
I think we are too. Get to go home and eat, like you said. Can't complain about that. But going and looking at the fields here, obviously, we'll leave Lowell Park out of this equation. But out of the fields you played at on Cape, what was your favorite?
If I can't choose Cotuit?
Yes.
Can't choose Lowell Park.
Well, I was a hitter, and I felt like it was pretty easy to hit it out of Hyannis. Was a very small field, so I would, I'm kind of only putting it through the perspective of someone that's trying to show up to the field and hit a home run that day. So Hyannis is where I go with.
First pitch from Catalano to Luke Lavin is fouled back, and you were a two-way guy on Cape. What was that experience like, having that type of workload in summer ball?
Honestly, even though I did pitch for a couple innings in my first year on the Cape, they didn't go too well, and we kind of just decided to settle on catching. And so it was great because it meant that I got to spend more time working on catching and developing and hitting batting practice 2 times a day. And it was good to focus on one thing.
Now, as you've kind of advanced, well, we'll call it, as you've advanced in your career and you've had a really great one, you've turned a lot towards pitching. And I'm kind of stealing my partner's question because he was going to ask you this. In terms of what you do to prepare pitching-wise, maybe that includes something dealing with electrodes. Is that, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I have like a muscle stim unit. People think of them as like a TENS unit. And you put it all over my body, on my head even, before I go pitch. People ask, what are you putting on your head? It's like, it's going to wake you up. You're going to be ready to go throw as fast as you can. No, it's something that I found throughout my career, keeps my arm healthy, and that's the name of the game for pitchers. So you'll catch me doing it, even though it's our All-Star break. I was doing it this morning. I'll do it tomorrow morning. I'll do it every single day for the rest of my life that I'm still a pitcher.
That's incredible. How did you come across doing that to get yourself ready?
There's a strength coach, that I train with since I've been like 13 years old, to be honest, and he was an early proponent of it, and it's worked. So I've kept on going, and there's quite a few players throughout the years that have hopped on those machines. Maybe not as vigorously as I've adopted it, but it's not something that's just unique to me.
No, it seemingly worked. I mean, you've consistently been throwing above 100 miles per hour. Are you still getting 100 on the radar gun now?
I've been throwing sidearm, and so I've topped this year at 98. Although it's not out of the cards that I might throw one over the top, or just to make sure that I can still clock 100. There's a couple months left in the season, so we might see it. Yeah.
Well, it looks like you're having a fun time. Now, is it Worcester? Is it pronounced Worcester?
I think in Boston fashion or New England, Massachusetts, it's like Worcester.
You were right.
Worcester. Yeah, I
It's
told you,
Worcester.
Chris. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, you've been enjoying yourself. It looks like at Worcester, they've coined you as Radiohead's biggest fan. Real quick, unrelated to baseball, can you rattle off the top 3 for us, real quick? Top 3 Radiohead songs.
I would say I Might Be Wrong, the live version. National Anthem is my favorite one. That's kind of like a litmus test of if you're a real Radiohead fan, you're gonna understand this one. And kind of just whatever's up next, to be honest. They're so deep in talent that you're not going to go wrong. I'll say Everything Everywhere All at Once, or is that the song? I don't know.
I think that sounds right. As the resident casual Radiohead fan in the booth, I recognize the titles. National Anthem, great song. I co-sign. So you've made a lot of stops in your baseball career to this point, major leagues, minor leagues, KBO. What do you have a favorite spot in particular? And you can leave out your current one just to keep it, I guess, not biased.
Playing, so I came up with the San Diego Padres as my first major league team, and it's really hard to beat playing baseball in San Diego in the summer. In AAA, you can't talk enough about how great Worcester's been, but Nashville was quite a fun place to play in AAA. When I played in the KBO, we were living in the heart of Seoul, and that was quite an experience, right? So it's really, I've played in so many places. There's no way you can put your finger on just one being the most fun. They all have their pros and cons, but San Diego in the summer is, if I can't choose Cape Cod, right, then that's
of course.
what I'm gonna go with, yeah.
We'll need to see if you can come back out on Cape. We'll have a little alumni night where you can throw an inning. There we go.
If there was an alumni game for the Cotuit Kettleers, that would be quite the all-star game. That would be fun.
I think you should pop the idea and heard it here first. So, Robert, unless you'd like to stay with us for a little longer, we're going to go to a quick break here. 5-1, YD up, heading into the top of the fourth. We will be right back.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Robert.
Hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
When we see our patient, our philosophy is to not just take care of the isolated pathology or problem that they're here for. We look at the care of a patient as the whole patient, how they hold hands with a spouse or partner, how they engage with their children or grandchildren. These are important things in the equation of how we decide optimal treatment for patients, whether that's non-operative or operative intervention. Every patient gets treated as a family member or as a pro athlete in our mind. We provide concierge level of care. That's how we want it done for our own, and that's what we continue to do here in the greater Boston area.
New pitcher out there for the Cotuit Kettleers, Wyatt Halverson, the right-hander from Arizona State, facing off against Jack Bell, Jomar Carreras, and Chris Hakopian. Thank you again to Robert Stock for joining the broadcast, the former two-time Cotuit Kettleer. That was a lot of fun to talk to him.
Oh, he's such a great mind to pick. Give him a follow on Twitter or social media. It's such a great job of breaking down the game behind the game as well. Really just great personality, great person to talk with, especially about a sport he loves, which is baseball.
Stock, he pitched earlier this year with the Red Sox, the Boston Red Sox, and he's with the Woo Sox currently. Swing and a miss, so he's hanging around in the Red Sox org, so it's really cool to see him pay a visit since he's in the area.
He said it best. The Cotuit Kettleers alumni game would just be an all-star event. So many great names and faces have passed through this organization, and I mean, plenty of great stories, just like Robert Stock, where you get to hear more beyond the baseball, just what makes him and all these other ball players so much more human, because they're just regular guys outside of the diamond who can play the sport a lot better than all of us.
That's for sure. I don't think either of us are pumping 100.
I don't think so. I'll try the electrode thing and see if that can up the miles per hour in the cannon.
That's very interesting. I was going to say, as it's ball four to Jack Bell, I had heard about that on a podcast, about him doing that earlier on in his career, and it seems like he's kind of, I wouldn't say pioneered. He said he heard it from his strength coach, but seems like there's been more people picking it up since that.
Well, the reasoning behind it, it does make complete sense. You're using a lot of muscles and different movements up on the mound. So instead of just warming up or stretching, you just continuously work the muscles that you'll be using, and that activates and gets them loose regardless.
It's really, really intriguing stuff as Jack Bell is into second after a passed ball. Stock started as a catcher, Now a reliever at the major league level. He is starting this year, though, with the Woo Sox. He's thrown 75 innings already. Wyatt Halverson, the pitcher on the mound now for the Kettleers. Came in relief of Peyton Manka, who did a great job to recover after what I think you could say plainly was a nightmare first inning. He allowed 5 runs, but he went out and retired 6 of the 7 batters he saw between the second and third innings.
Well, he finished his night on a high note, went 3 up, 3 down in the third inning, and thus ended his night. And now it's Halverson's game to come in and shut down the Red Sox.
He's walked 2 straight to start the frame, and Luke Lavin is going to go out to talk with him.
Halverson's been a consistent arm out of the bullpen for the Kettleers. This will be his 9th appearance on the season, all of which have been in relief. He's through 19 2/3, the highest total by a current Kettleers pitcher, allowing only 11 hits, 4 earned runs. But here's where the difference maker has been. He's walked now 15 batters on the season. He's struck out also 15.
He's worn a few different hats, too, which has been part of the mixed results in terms of the walks and strikeouts, at least. He's still sporting an ERA, just over 2 to this point. But he had a couple of late inning, high leverage opportunities. He had a save opportunity once against Bourne, and unfortunately, it didn't go his way. Unfortunately, well, not to repeat myself, but Bourne won that one 5-4 in walk-off fashion. But I think he's been his best in a long relief role so far, and that's what he's doing right now. Here comes his 1-0. Both runners go, and no throw down by Luke Lavin. Double steal executed to perfection by YD.
Just looked so simultaneous between Bell and Carreras. They both got their secondary leads at the same time. They both broke at the exact same time. It was really well timed on that double steal.
2 in on scoring position. That's dribbled towards the third baseman. The throw home. Oh, they got him. Great play by the infield. The third baseman, Camden Johnson, played perfectly in the hole.
And he prevented Carreras from taking third base. An overall great play all around from Camden Johnson at the hot corner. And Luke Lavin being ready for the tag.
They were all over it. Infield was pinched in and did a great job to save a run. Kettleers' infield defense has been strong this year, despite losing the 2 guys that they thought were going to patrol the middle of that infield the whole way as Sean Yamaguchi goes the other way. Carreras puts on the stop sign at third. Runners at all stations after the Yamaguchi single. He's 3 for 3.
All 3 have been singles, but all 3 have been pieces of good contact, flying it out to the gaps in the outfield. He's looked confident at the plate today.
But the initial middle infield tandem was supposed to be P.J. Moutsouridis at short and Jaron Advincula at second. The middle infield tandem previously at Cal. But unfortunately, those 2 no longer with the team, and now we've seen Luke Matthews and Ryan Farber kind of switching back and forth between those positions, and they have come in and played just as well.
It looks like they've been comfortable there all season long.
And granted, Moutsouridis missed some time early, was a little banged up, so Ryan Farber got a lot of shortstop reps, so he's been somewhat used to it, but Matthews more of a recent addition in game number 11 today with the Kettleers. Plays second and short at Kent State and is continuing to play good baseball in the field here. The 1-1. Halverson just missed. This is Dean Carpentier. Walked and struck out in this one so far. Halverson pitching with the bases loaded. The throw home. Chopped foul. On third, it's Carreras, Hakopian on second, Yamaguchi on first. "5-1 ball game. YD has not looked back after a 5-run first frame. Swing and a miss. Struck him out on a diving breaking pitch. Really nice stuff from Halverson.
Halverson able to fight through a couple of leadoff walks here in this inning, trying to buckle down and get this final out. Force at every bag.
Man, do you remember the first game or the second game of the season against Wareham where we saw Halverson out there for the first time and how impressed we were with his stuff?
No, rightfully so. He came into that game and just looked like he had been pitching all season long, it seemed. I mean, it was early on in the season, but he looked like he was in mid-season form.
He's been one of the most impressive pitchers on staff this summer. Swingman at Arizona State. Strikes out a lot of batters with the Sun Devils. Braden Dowd batting with the bases loaded. Watches a ball. Dowd hitting fifth. He's 1 for 2 with a single. The 2-1. Inside, ball 3. It's the bottom of the fourth, or the top half. No one warming up for Michael Catalano over there on the YD side. He's been pitching well, and that is ball 4. Wyatt Halverson walks in a run. It's 6-1.
There's been some troubles this season with Cotuit and walking batters in. Seen it before. All Dowd needed to do was stand there and receive the pitches.
That brings up Garrett Wright, the right-handed swinging left fielder. He's 0 for 2 today. First pitch strike dealt by Halverson. YD up 6-1. They're trying to bolster their #1 spot in the East Division. Cotuit trying to do the same. They're tied with Wareham for that position. It's socked foul. Looking around the league, Brewster, the team that's challenging YD for the first spot, they're down by a point. They're up 4-1 on Falmouth. Harwich and Wareham just began. Scoreless in the top of the first. And Hyannis and Bourne are about to start action. No swing they save for Braden Dowd. It's 1-2. The nightcap tonight for Cape League baseball action is going to be Chatham and Orleans. It's an East Division matchup. Cotuit beat Chatham last night 4-2. They're at the bottom of the division. If you're Cotuit, you're watching the Wareham and Harwich game intently. Swing and a miss. Halverson gets out of it, only allowing 1 run. It's 6-1. YD up on Cotuit going into the bottom half of the fourth.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Out there for inning number 4, it's Michael Catalano batting against Ryan Farber, Nolan Stevens, and Jack Natilli. 3 through 5 for the Cats.
Yeah, he's had smooth sailing so far. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings pitched. The lone time he's really been challenged was at the bottom of the first, where he walked Dean West, who later came around to score. But other than that, Catalano has been nails up on the mound.
1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk on his line, in addition to 3 strikeouts in his 3 frames. He went 1, 2, 3 in each of the last 2 innings. To this point, he's retired 7 straight, and he starts Farber off with a fastball strike. 40 pitches, 28 strikes to Catalano's mark. The Oklahoma hurler is dazzling so far for YD. Quickly 0-2, or 1-2. Farber has the lone hit of the game for the Cats. Opposite field single to left, his first time up. Upstairs, ball 2. Well, scoreboard malfunction. It's actually 1 and 2. I was going to say, I thought I had 0-2
You were right, yeah.
Gee.
Don't second guess yourself.
Here, now it's 2-2. How about that? YD, 6 runs on 8 hits. Cotuit, 1 run on 1 hit. After playing airless baseball last night, the Kettleers have won early on in this ball game. Ryan Farber stepping in the left-handed batter's box. He's been the Iron Man for the Cats all season, and he swings and misses at that pitch. Retired via the strikeout. Farber thought he got a piece of it.
Catalano continuing to dazzle on the mound. Up to 3 strikeouts on the day.
3 straight as well. Had 2 to end the third, and has 1 to open here. Now it's Nolan Stevens. He drove in a run on a fielder's choice. Back in the first, he brought in Dean West. Big cut and a miss. 2 homers this summer and a double for Stevens. Possesses solid power to pull side, but he hasn't been able to find the consistent extra base hits with Cotuit. A lot of hard singles, though. A swing on for each of those pitches. It's 0-2. Catalano working in an 0-2 count against Nolan Stevens. Saws one off to left. That's going to get down with the whole infield shifted well to their left. Same with the outfield. Did a good job of punching it the opposite way.
Yeah, 2 strikes just shorten up the swing. Able to get a good cut across a pitch that was a bit on the inside part of the zone, and Stevens able to poke it out opposite field.
Now Jack Natilli bats with a runner on. That's Stevens. He's reached each time up so far. Jack Natilli looking to change this game. Takes a ball outside, scampering over to second. Making it in is Stevens with a tough slide. It looks like his foot got stuck on the opposite side of the bag when he came in. Looks like he's good, though.
Now that ball just kicked away from Connor Capisi behind the dish and took too long to find it. Stevens even had time to think about whether or not he wanted to steal second. Ended up taking it.
Catalano steps back up. Now Jack Natilli's batting with a runner in scoring position. Kettleers 1 for 2 in such scenarios today. Outside, strike one. Just nicked the corner. One count. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Heck, I think that was his changeup. That came in at 84.
Got some juice.
Jack Natilli, a 1-2 count. Infield shifted to their rights. He checked on it. No swing, says first base umpire Jim Fonseca. Two count to Jack Natilli. Here it comes. Upstairs, ball 3. Three-two count to Jack Natilli. 5 home runs, leads the Kettleers this summer. One of the top marks on Cape. Here comes the pitch. Ball 4. Jack Natilli works walk number 9.
Kettleers haven't been walked often today, just the second free pass issued by Michael Catalano. But if you want to look at it in terms of history repeating itself, the only run scored by Cotuit today was Dean West, who came around to score after reaching base via a walk.
Nolan Stevens reached via a hit. He's on second. Jack Natilli, a walk. He's on first. Camden Johnson enters the left-handed batter's box. The pitch to him, laced foul, right side. Just got in front of it. Oh, and 1 count to Johnson. Runners on first and second for him. Catalano, a check of second. He fires. That's punched down the left field line for a base hit. Coming around third and in to score is Nolan Stevens on the RBI single by Cam Johnson.
Cotuit doing a good job of piecing together some base runners. Both hits this inning have gone opposite field. Both Nolan Stevens and Camden Johnson able to get some contact towards the left side of the infield, just shooting it into left field.
Luke Matthews comes up. Jack Natilli only advanced to base. Left fielder Garrett Wright came in on the ball quickly. There's no one warming over in the YD pen, although they're bringing a pitcher out there to start throwing right now. I think the initial plan was for Catalano to go 5 as that ball sails into the outfield. Each runner advances, and a throw that went awry just allowed Cotuit to get 2 in scoring position with 1 down.
Just like that, the Kettleers able to put a little bit of pressure on the Red Sox. YD still with a 4-run lead, so you don't need to press the panic button yet, but this is an opportunity for Cotuit to win back some runs.
They're going to do a quick check out there on the mound. First mound visit to Catalano in this game to this point. It'll just be a checkup, though. At this point in the game. Up to bat next will be Luke Matthews. Mound meeting concludes. Luke Matthews stepping in to bat with 2 on in scoring position. Catalano the pitch. Looked at, strike one. The 1-1. Taken outside. Kettleers trying to put some more pressure on YD here. They're down 6-2 right now.
The Kets have gotten a lot better, hitting with runners in scoring position. And up to 244 is a team average on the season.
Swing and a miss on the 2-2.
And just as a refresher, Cotuit, about a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, was hitting .083 as a team with runners in scoring position.
They've come pretty far in terms of clutch hitting and just batting in general. Swing and a miss by Matthews. 2 down.
All 5 of Catalano's strikeouts today have been swinging.
He has swing and miss stuff. Pitched well at Oklahoma back in the spring. He's been punching tickets on Cape as well. Chopped back. Catalano's a young arm. Just turned 20 in late June, going into his sophomore year. A lot of time to develop. Here comes the 0-1. Looping, breaking pitch in there. Oh, 2 count. Sanderson protecting. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Cats leave 2 stranded in scoring position. It's 6-2 going into the top of the 5th.
There's a 0 chance that you'll want to miss our 0% for 72 months offer. For a limited time, CAT is offering 0% on the purchase of many new small excavators. That's 0% for better performance, 0% for next generation features.
Great machine. It's quite impressive.
0% for work tools too. But there's a 0% chance this offer will last. So contact Milton Cat before there's 0 time left. One source has it all. The pros' go-to rental choice for the newest and most reliable equipment for any job. One source that has a team you can rely on, the people and a name you trust, with the tools you need. One source with a location near you and wherever the work takes you. Milton Rents, the right equipment when and where you need it.
Six-two ball game. YD up 4. Coming into the top of the 5th. The Red Sox come up to bat in this one. It's Connor Capice, Will Baker, and Jack Bell. Wyatt Halverson in his second inning of relief here for the Kettleers. Righty-righty matchup against Capice. First pitch strike to him. He really opened up the scoring in this one with a 3-run double back in the first. Comes the 0-1. That was just a little low. Inside, taking a ball by Connor Capice. 1 for 3 last time against Cotuit when they played on the 13th. That was one of his first games on Cape. He's been the main instigator of offense in this one. Sun beginning to set here around 6:30 local time. Still a solid crowd on hand. Man, it is a warm one too. Ball 4 to Connor Capice. Around 83 degrees when this game started. To say the least, the fellas are sweating out there. And in here.
Hey, you're not wrong. I mean, yeah, there's no other way to cut it. It is a warm one. We've gone through a lot of water up here.
Sure have. Tim O'Connor's out there for a mound meeting with Wyatt Halverson. Not a pitching change. I think there might be some action, some rumblings over there in the Cotuit pen. Situation is this: no outs, a runner on first. Will Baker coming up to bat. The offense has really slowed down in this one for YD since the first. They scored 5 in that frame and have only scored 1 more since. Chris is looking
kind of
up.
tuned you out. I'm very sorry. I'm trying to find the record high for Cape Cod, well, specifically Cotuit.
I don't know if you'd find it for the village of Cotuit, but maybe for Mashpee.
We'll see if we can find the record high for Barnstable.
Fair point. The home of Cotuit. Real feel of 99 today. I think that's a little overdoing it.
Well, the description for the weather today was partly sunny and uncomfortably humid.
That's a fair description.
It's been very uncomfortable today, humidity-wise.
It's been a warm one. The 1-1 is socked high in the air out to right center. Caden Bogenpole has it well measured for out number 1.
Allegedly, last year on this date, it was 86 degrees as well. I don't know if that's the record high, but it's well above the average.
Well, we've had a few 90-degree days here, so I doubt it's the historical high. As it's ball 1 to the 9-hole hitter, Jack Bell. The pitch, runner goes, swing and a miss, bounced throw, got out of the glove of the shortstop, Luke Matthews. In safely is Capice.
It was a quick pop and a throw down to second base. Just took a hop before reaching the bag, and Matthews wasn't able to hold on.
They give Capice the stolen base. His first of the summer. 4 stolen bags today already for YD. That pitch gets away, and that's another bag for Capice.
He's just making his way around the base paths, taking advantage of some pitches that have gotten away from Luke Lavin.
YD with 4 stolen bases today. Not one of the more run-happy teams on Cape. Only 37 stolen bags coming into this one. Tapper up the middle, pops off the glove of Halverson, gloved by Matthews, who sails it. A run scores as well. Man, commotion on the infield for the Cats.
The baseball started towards Halverson, got a bit of his glove on it, but it ricocheted off, which ended up kicking it outside the field of play for Farber to make an attempt on it. So then Matthews had to sprint across the infield to get it. And at the end of it all, everyone's safe.
So runner on first now, Jack Bell. That bouncing ball drew in Connor Capice. It's a 7-2 ball game. Camden Johnson's creeping in over at third. Gets back to his position. Kettleers are 8-3-1 in the month. So the official ruling on that one is a throwing error by Ryan Farber, who attempted to make that play, so an E4.
Yeah, I don't think that was on Farber.
I thought Matthews made the throw to first. That went above the head of the first baseman. I guess not. What's your take?
Well, Farber was on the ground when the throw happened, so could not have been him.
Yeah, that's an interesting tab, but I think we'll see a change in the scoring eventually.
Unless Luke Matthews started looking suspiciously like Ryan Farber.
Well, they both play middle infield, so that's a start. The pitch. Outside corner, strike one. So they give Jack Bell an RBI for that one. Fouled straight back to the screen. 7-2 is your score. Red Sox just chipping the lead ahead after a 5-run first inning. Halverson working to Jomar Carreras. 1 for 2 with a walk. Runner goes. That's belted high in the air. Foul. Giving it a look is Luke Levin. And play made over there by Camden Johnson. Went out of his position to get to it.
Johnson's got a lot of range. Good set of wheels, can get him just about anywhere. We've seen him track down those foul balls quite a bit this season. Just covers a lot of ground quick.
2 down for Halverson now. Still a runner on first. Chris Hakopian digs in. The Maryland transfer to Texas A&M. Outside, ball 1. Hakopian, the second team All Big Ten bat, led Maryland in batting average with a .375 mark. Hakopian actually played last summer in Chatham in the playoffs with his brother Eddie. That's ball 3. Played with the Martha's Vineyard Sharks of the NECBL before that. Made the jump. His brother Eddie played with him at Maryland. He's graduated, and that's socked high in the air out to right field. Nolan Stevens has it measured for out number 3. 7-2 is your score. Going to toss this one over to Chris Albright for the rest of the show in the bottom of the 5th.
Wyatt Halverson. This will be the third arm today from the Kets.
Chase Carson, the lefty, making his second appearance for the Kettleers this summer, and it's a reclamation outing here. He got roughed up his first time, allowed a handful of runs, and only got an out or two, so he's coming in with a plan to try to get right.
2/3 innings pitched on the summer. He's allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He's walked 1, struck out none. Was tagged for the loss in his first outing. Looking to right the ship here. He's got this going for him. It would take a wonky baseball game for him to be tagged with a loss here today. So looking like his record at the minimum will stay. He'll be facing 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup card for the Red Sox. Sean Yamaguchi, Dean Carpentier, and Braden Dowd. Yamaguchi is 3 for 3 today. A trio of singles. Has a pair of RBIs as well. Check that. Only 1 RBI. The second taken away as Hakopian registered scoring on the air by the center fielder, Caden Bogenpole. 0-2 the count on Yamaguchi. Here's Carson's delivery. Swing and a miss. First strikeout of the summer.
It's one way to start your outing if you're Chase Carson. Showing off the looping breaking stuff against Sean Yamaguchi. A couple of really nice pitches, and he showed off the toolbox right there.
The batter, Carpentier, is 0 for 2 today. He walked and came around to score in the first inning. Chase Carson coming in, announcing his presence, continuing to pound the zone. Has yet to throw a ball. Ripped foul. Another 0-2 count. I lied. Carson threw a ball in the last at-bat. Not registering on the live stats, but he did. Here's the 0-2. Carson wrapping up his year. UNC Charlotte. Made the trek from Topeka, Kansas to North Carolina. And like we mentioned, his first time pitching follows the pipeline of what Lauren Hibbs, head man for the Kets, did. 2-2, up and away. Hibbs went from Wichita, Kansas, as he was a shocker, and then after he graduated, remained a member of the coaching staff, and then took his coaching career to UNC Charlotte. Payoff pitch misses low. Carpentier's been walked now twice today. The 6th walk issued by Kettleers pitching today. Braden Dowd is 1 for 2. He was walked his last plate appearance with the bases loaded. On a line, Matthews gloves it. 2 away. Hot shot off the bat of Braden Dowd. Solid piece of contact, but Matthews needed to take about a step to his left to make that glove. And it seems that every game, as the season progresses, Luke Matthews, no matter where he's playing, just sees more and more action.
Gets a lot of balls hit his way, especially against a right-handed dominant lineup. And he's impressed over at short for the most part.
Well, Matthews last night was playing second base And we saw a lot of great 4-3 putouts, or even Matthews just making some great ranging motion to chase down a ground ball, keep it from going to the outfield. He's looked comfortable in the middle infield. See a lot of guys that can play both second base and shortstop. Two positions that tend to go hand in hand. Count is 2-0 on Garrett Wright. He's struck out twice today. 2 outs, a strikeout here could end the inning for Carson. On the line again to Matthews, leaps and spears it. Luke Matthews continuing to flash the leather. Score remains 7-2. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. He is wearing the number 20, but it does not appear to be Carson Ballard.
That would be Josh Landry. How about that?
That would make a lot more sense.
2 guys with the number 20 on their roster, but Landry, the lefty, wearing 20 and standing 6'6" tall. He looks the part out there.
That he does. 6.5 feet tall, the southpaw out of Cypress, California. High leg kick, a first pitch strike to Ryan Farber. It will be Farber, Stevens, and Natilli due up. 3 bats for Cotuit that can put power on the baseball. All 3 with at least 1 home run this season. Farber has a pair of taters. Same as Nolan Stevens. Jack Natilli has 5. The 0-2. Outside.
So, Josh Landry, unique path. He's coming here by way of NAIA ball.
1-3 on the putout. He retires the first batter he faces here on Cape. This is his first appearance of the summer.
It is, after coming by way of Hope International College in the NAIA circuit, through 82 1/3 innings there with a 2.51 ERA. Helped them go to the NAIA World Series this year. Heck, they were the champs in 2024, too.
Dynasty being made at the NAIA baseball level.
I want to say they got beat by LSU Shreveport this year, who I'm pretty sure went undefeated this season.
I want to agree with you, and I think I will. Don't know why there was any hesitation. I think I was a bit hung up on whether or not Shreveport is an NAIA school, but I think they are.
They are.
Glad we got to the bottom of that. Do you have the box score pull up from the game?
It's, yes, I do. So Shreveport finished the season 58-0, and they won 14-4. Jeez.
Oh, man. Well, I stand corrected. It looks like the dynasty is LSU Shreveport at the NAIA level.
I remember hearing about that in the beginning of the summer. Oh, there's this team at the NAIA level that just doesn't lose, and it's them.
It's LSU Shreveport. Oh, man. LSU, the whole school system becoming a real hotbed for college baseball.
I mean, just to have your main campus LSU, what is so funny? Jeez.
2-2. Popped in the air toward shallow center field. Coming out to play at Jack Bell, he'll make the catch about 10 steps into the center field grass.
Jeez. Chris with a case of the giggles.
Oh, I am a mess right now. This is what happens when you bring up LSU Shreveport.
I guess so. Well, I've lost my train of thought. Thanks, Chris.
I have derailed your thinking and conversation on the LSU Shreveport subject.
I was just going to make a point of how impressive it is that your main school, your main campus can be so dominant at the college level, and then your branch campus in Shreveport is just as good a few levels down at the NAIA level of baseball. That's just, from top to bottom, that's really impressive.
Oh, 2 on Natilli. Natilli today 0 for 1. Walked in his last plate appearance. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Joshua Landry. Reaches up to the sky, celebrates with his bullpen out in right field. YD still up 7-2 over the Kettleers. And that's been one of the, I will say, gripes of this Kettleers pitching staff, who has been so solid all around throughout this season. It's just those free passes that are starting to come around and bite the Kettleers pitching. They're averaging just above 4 per game, putting them at 5th in the Cape League.
Check back to first over there. That's Case Sanderson, not in time. Interesting, I'm taking a look at the Charlotte website here, the Charlotte 49ers. That is definitely a mascot name I have not heard too much of. Of course, I'm sure they love to see their Chase Carson out here on the Cape. And that is Will Baker currently in the batter's box. He takes that first ball. The right fielder today. Seen him single. Quick little fly ball out to center field in the last inning in his last appearance. No need to really stir up the offense right now, considering how far ahead they are. But of course, good to get some of those insurance runs, as they say, as the count is 1-1.
Well, for YD, a lot of the damage was done in the first inning. 5 of the 7 runs for the Red Sox happened in the top of that first frame. And since then, the Kettleers pitching has been doing a solid job of limiting that trouble on the base paths.
Pop-up ball in the infield. Carson turns, finds Case Sanderson. Get Will Baker out at first, although Capisi advances to second. Jack Bell stepping up to the plate, the shortstop looking. We've seen a strikeout for him, a walk that led him home at some point, and an RBI off an error at second base. So a lot of good productive offensive performance, I should say, today for him.
Yeah, that RBI, he did reach via an error, so he doesn't quite get the hit, but he'll show up in the scorecard regardless.
Leashes it, foul way off to left side. Fans ducking and looking. Chris, we did see someone get domed earlier today. It was a little unfortunate to see it. A foul ball went flying off, and someone unfortunately was hit by it. So always a good reminder to just be paying attention out here. You never know, but we hope she's okay. Sent right back to us. I do not have my glove up here in the press box. Really thankful for that nice little fence meshing right in front of us.
Yeah, we didn't bring our baseball gloves to the game, but I'll tell you, you have to keep your head on a swivel no matter where you're at the ballpark.
Circle Lewis, our producer, might be able to help us out there a little bit. As the 2-1 pitch gets set, sends it out, swings, and rings him up. That is the end of Jack Bell for this appearance. We're going to head to the top of the order.
Good strikeout from Chase Carson, his second of the day. Both of them have been swinging. He's been doing a good job of getting those pitches in the zone, especially towards the bottom. Won't quite light up the radar gun, but his movement is great.
Stepping into the batter's box, Jomar Carreras. His last appearance in the 5th inning with a flyout. Sends that one over to the right field. Carson getting set, taking a quick breath. He's currently up in the count. 0-1. Swings. It's a little upstairs. A lefty. Three at-bats today. Carreras, 2 runs, 1 hit, and at least 1 walk. He's about 277 on his average today. Connecting pretty well. Of course, there are other players on this team who have reached or swung on a couple of more. Yamaguchi, the DH, with 571 so far in today's game. Of course, gotta tip your cap to your DH. So that's mostly their job, but good to see connecting on all cylinders. The pitch, sent high. That's Camden Johnson coming in, basically at home plate. Can't connect behind the line. Looks to be a foul ball. That's going to send Connor Capisi back to second base. Thought he had enough time to run that one down. Camden Johnson running all the way from third, practically running in a run himself, as they would say.
2 outs. Capisi ready to run on anything, and for Carreras, he's able to put some pop on the baseball. That one just fouled off behind home plate.
Carson still ahead in this one, looking to get out. 2 outs so far in the top of the 7th. 1-2 pitch. Wait to see. That gives him a ball. Chris, you looked like you wanted to call that one a strike.
Yeah, it was a great backdoor breaking ball. Cutting in towards the outside part of the zone, just didn't break in enough. Thought it was along that line, but home plate umpire Jake Brickta said otherwise.
2-2 fastball sends down the center field. Looking back and connecting on that one. It's Caden Bogenpole. They're going to run that one in for the middle of the 7th inning. We're going to stretch here at Lowell Park, but when we come back, it's time for the YB Red Sox to stand defensively. You're listening on Cape League TV. The mound once again, due up for the Kettleers. Camden Johnson, Luke Matthews, and Case Sanderson. Now, the last time the Cotuit C came up to the batter's box, it was a little bit of a 1-2-3 inning. Ryan Farber, Nolan Stevens, Jack Natilli. Of course, that one ended out for Jack Natilli in a strikeout. Landry looking to get it done here on the mound. Take a look as Camden Johnson steps up. Had that play where he ran almost basically into the batter's box earlier in that inning. Trying to get it done here for the Cats, spark some momentum. First pitch there, Blue's gonna call it a strike. Now, if I remember listening to you guys, there's a little bit of confusion over what LSU Landry attends.
Well, so Landry goes to Hope International, an NAIA school, and they lost to LSU Shreveport.
There we go.
In
okay,
the
there's
NAIA
the connection. Got it.
Championship, the World Series game, and LSU Shreveport finished the season undefeated.
Wow.
Very similar. So LSU wins the D1 College World Series, and LSU Shreveport wins the NAIA World Series.
Ball grounded out to the short, sent it to first. A nice 6-4 play there. Gets Camden Johnson out for the first out of the inning. Up steps Luke Matthews, who actually had a very great game last night in Bourne. Really kind of, we could, I guess, give him the nod in terms of getting the Cats back on track earlier in that game, if it was the top of the 2nd there for him.
Well, Matthews has done a great job this season of bringing guys in. It seems that no matter where he's at in the lineup card, he does a good job of taking advantage in situations where there are runners on the base paths or even in scoring position. He had 3 RBIs last night.
Call him a little bit of that Swiss Army knife, kind of put him wherever you want. He and Farber, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, have been kind of switching between 2nd and 3rd, some shortstop here and there as well. So good to see a guy who could put that through. Swung on. It's a 1-2 count here for Landry. Looking to record his 2nd hopeful strikeout for him at least, but at least the 2nd out of this inning. Matthews, did he go? First base ump says he did not. Even count here for Luke Matthews. Excuse me, 1-2 count there. Swings on, sends it towards center field over the head of the shortstop. It goes to the center fielder, Braden Dowd. Luke Matthews successfully reaches first.
That's his first hit of the day. Able to get back into the hitting department. Matthews hasn't had a lot of time spent with Cotuit, this just being his 10th game, but in the 10 games he's played in so far, he's now hitting above 300, hitting 308 on the season, and he's consistently been around that clip all summer long.
A little bit of a pinch hitting situation here in for Case Anderson. Tagger Tyson, who caught last night for the Kettleers. Pretty good job in his first start of the season as he takes that one low.
Tyson, another recent addition to this Kettleers roster, which has seen some people leave for the MLB draft or hit their inning limits and whatnot. So you get a lot of new faces coming in. Now, Cotuit, being a younger team, didn't lose many guys to the draft. In fact, the only current Kettleer that got drafted was Reed Mooring.
Sends that win. Tyson sends it down the line. They're going to call it fair. He's running around the side. Luke Matthews trying to get to third in time. He's sent home. In for a run, and they call him safe. Luke Matthews with the third run of the night for the Cotuit Kettleers off a ball from Tagger Tyson. Have a day.
Tyson doing a great job of shooting that ball down the third base line. We've seen a lot of guys in this Cotuit lineup being able to place one down the lines. That one pull side for Tyson and just shot into the corner, kicked around some. Plenty of time for Matthews to make the trek home.
Josh Landry taking a second as Luke Lavin enters the batter's box. Lavin, the only Stanford Cardinal left on this roster after the departures of Joey Volchko and Rentaro Sasaki. That one's downstairs. Up in the count, 1-0 so far. First run of the game for the Cats since the bottom of the first inning. One's off to the side. You talk a little bit with Lauren Hibbs. Of course, I'm going to use a little bit of my sideline repertoire here about kind of the Kets having slow starts, but then being able to kick into gear later in the game. Just taking the time to match their opponents and understand what they need to do better. And of course, that takes a little bit of time. You may be behind in scores and runs and counts, but you get a chance to kind of kick into gear once your opponent starts tiring out a little bit more.
And for Cotuit, they've taken advantage of those situations, playing some great baseball towards the end of the game.
Count in favor of Luke Lavin, 3-1 right now. Landry, he's given up a run so far. He's got a runner on second, and another one dangerously looming close towards first. Downstairs, Lavin is going to walk. Kettleers setting themselves up for a good opportunity as we head to the top of the order with Dean West approaching. Of course, he had a walk earlier in the game, strikeout and a fly ball to send him out in the fifth. But you know Dean West will produce in some sense. Of course, he helped bring UCLA to its first appearance in Omaha since 2013.
He swings a great bat. A lot of contact in it. Came into this game hitting .333. Still looking for his first hit today. It might not be an extra base hit, but he'll produce just shooting the ball into the gaps in the outfield, getting on base with some solid contact singles. A single here could either load the bases or, if it's deep enough, could score Tyson at second.
Takes a strike there. Counts currently even at 1. Dean West is a fun character to talk to. I hope you guys get a chance to interview him at some point. Really excited to just represent West Coast baseball. And of course, Kettleers have a lot of West Coasters here. Wyatt Halverson, Cole Carlone at one point, Joey Volchko, as you mentioned earlier, Luke Lavin. You know, West Coast baseball for a long time, just not really thought of. But if you think about it, Arizona State has some of the most draft picks in all of the NCAA right now. Sends that a one in. Looking to see. It's going to be a ball. 3-1. West is leading in the count, and this could be a really good situation. Bogenpole due up for the Cotuit Kettleers. A little quiet in terms of sending it yards since his first appearance a couple of weeks ago. He homered alongside Rentaro Sasaki in that game. They're calling that one a strike. It's a full count.
Now, should the bases be loaded, Bogenpole would represent the tying run.
Yes, he would. Cardiac Ketts. Cardiac Cotuit. We're still deciding which one we want to call him. And he will walk. Bases are loaded here at Lowell Park. Caden Bogenpole getting ready to take the mound. He's been a force. A lot of people talking about how he could go early as the first round next year in the 2026 MLB draft, choosing to stay Missouri State for another year. He's loyal to his hometown. Love to see it. Not a lot of stories about that anymore.
Yeah, the Missouri native deciding to stay in the Show Me State for college, and he's been producing at Missouri State. A lot of power in his bat.
Gonna see a little bit of a mound visit here, pulling the infield in. Looking to give Landry, a couple words of encouragement. They know Bogenpole has the arm to send this one out, and like you said, Chris, tie up this game at 7 apiece.
Bogenpole with 1 home run this season. That was in his first game as a Kettleer. Since then, he's been scuffling a little bit from the hitting side of things. Just 9 hits in 41 at-bats. Came into this game hitting .220. He's still looking for his first hit today. None would be bigger than a base hit right here, trying to draw the Kets closer.
Deals, they're going to call that a strike. Lower zone, that was an 86-mile-an-hour changeup. If I'm Landry, I'm probably a little nervous. Want to keep it simple out there on the mound. Bounces off. They're going to see. Luke Matthews will not advance. Or excuse me, that is Tiger Tyson. Although we saw a situation like this last night in the bottom of the 9th inning, so many opportunities for the Cats to give up what could have been an extra run. Home run on top of that as well. They didn't. They're going to give him a strike on that one. Down in the count, 1-2.
Landry has done a great job of painting the outside part of this zone, not throwing anything up and into Bogenpole.
Bogenpole takes. We'll reward him with a ball. Currently tied at 2. So he's still 1 out in this inning. So even if a sac fly needs to happen to get another Ket home, who knows? Hibbs might think that's worth it. Big swing to record the 2nd out of the bottom of the 7th so far. Although due up is fan favorite, Ryan Farber. Definitely check in the Cotuit Kettleers social media a little bit. You'll see plenty of action from him. But he's been pretty consistent for the Cotuit Kettleers. Of course, a slow start to start the season. Just kind of came out of nowhere a couple weeks ago. He's been batting consistently since, earning him an all-star spot on Saturday. Landry releases. It's going to be fair going down. Tagger scores. Sending him around is Lavin. Dean West stuck at 3rd. But there you go. Ryan Farber producing another hit for tonight. Marks his first hit in his third at-bat.
Now Farber up to 15 RBIs on the season, second on the Kettleers, and he continues to produce. It's Cotuit's plate approach with runners in scoring position that has gotten better throughout this season. And it's base hits like that, Farber not necessarily hunting for power, just getting that nice contact down the line, and another opposite field hit. Cotuit has been doing a great job of going opposite field.
And staying so close to the line, too, where no one can really make a move on that ball. Nolan Stevens now in the box. Semi-productive day today. He's had a single, and he's single so far, put out in the 6th inning. So little inconsistency here, but, you know, 2 home runs on the season. He's doing pretty well. Takes it high and upstairs on that one.
Stevens with a grand slam as well. He's able to drive in runs.
Landry checking it first to make sure Farber doesn't go too far. We've seen Farber steal a couple of bases here and there throughout the season. He's sneaky. He's quick. Nolan Stevens sends that straight to the second baseman. It's put out at first. That concludes the 7th inning. First of all, thank you, Chris and Connor, for letting me put on the headset. Really appreciate it. Can only go up from here. So excited to come back a little bit tomorrow and have one of you guys next to me again. But it was really fun. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
You killed it, Brooke. Man, Connor, we got a fear for our jobs. I'll tell you what. When we return, 8th inning here at Lowell Park. Cats now only down by 2 against the Red Sox. Thank you again, Brooke Kilgore. Arm out on the mound for the Kettleers. A new face in the Kets uniform, Nick Greeny. 6'6", 245. Out of Dallas, Texas. Plays his college ball. Just wrapped up his year at Florida State University. Teammates with Kettleers starting arm, Peyton Manka.
And Greeny didn't get quite as much action. Only 3 appearances this spring for Florida State, but he's a big projectable 6'7" right-hander who's got some good stuff and pitched really well at the JUCO level.
This will be Greeny's first appearance today for the Kettleers. I mean, also his first appearance today, but first appearance of the season for the Kettleers. Like we were mentioning, just a lot of new faces coming into rosters at this point in the season. It'll be Hakopian, Yamaguchi, and Carpentier due up for the Red Sox, who at one point were up by 5 over the Kettleers. Since then, Cotuit has done a great job of chipping into the lead that the Red Sox built up. Kets now only down by 2. Count is 1-1 on Hakopian. Chris, 1 for 4 today, did come around to score in his first plate appearance. Count now 3-1. Greeny up on the mound, glove up near his head, kicks and deals. Swung on, fly ball towards right field. Stevens camping underneath it. Glasses gleaming, will make the catch. Yamaguchi up, who has had himself a very productive day at the plate. 3 for 4. Came around to score in the first. Drove in a run as well. Bit late on that 81-mile-per-hour pitch. Low and away. Count now evens at 1-1. Greeny, before heading to Florida State, played at McLennan Community College in Waco, Texas, before jumping up to the D1 level. And like you mentioned, Connor, very limited appearances in his lone season with the Noles so far. 3 games, none of those starts. Went 2 1/3 innings. 1-2. Called strike 3. Painted the inside part of the zone.
Beautiful pitch from Greeny, just clocked it right on the bottom half, and there was no chance Yamaguchi was going to wave at that one. It started in his batter's box.
2 up, 2 down for Nick Greeny. Batter is the 4-hole hitter Dean Carpentier. Carpentier 0 for 2 today, but he's worked 2 walks. On the season, coming into this game, just had a lone walk. High fly ball to left field. West will come in and make the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning worked by Nick Greeny. The Cotuit Kettleers still have some life as sun is fading fast here at Lowell Park. We'll head to the home half of the 8th. Ketts trailing by 2 on Cape League TV. Home half of the 8th. Cotuit due up. It will be Jack Natilli, Camden Johnson, and Luke Matthews. Natilli has been swinging a hot stick in the month of July. The past couple of days, it's cooled off. But if there's any sliver in his lumbar that is reminiscent of how he was early on in this month, it could bring the Kettleers a run closer to the Red Sox, who lead by 1. Breaking ball, strike 1. It was July 9th when the Kettleers took on the Red Sox at Red Wilson Field that Natili hit what ended up being the deciding go-ahead grand slam. Natili went on the check swing. That put the Kets up 4-1. The lead never squandered. Kets ended up winning that game 8-2. Joshua Landry out for his 3rd inning of work. Here's the 0-2 to Natili. Ground ball towards short. Bell gloves. 1 away. Landry in his first inning, he worked a 1-2-3, bottom of the 6th. In the 7th, he got tagged up a little bit, surrendered 3 hits, walked 2 batters, gave up 3 runs. That brought the Kets within 2. Camden Johnson up, he's 1 for 3 today. An RBI single in the 4th. Outside part of the strike zone has been a consistent call. Kets tending to take those pitches outside. 0-1. Fouled off. Landry has done a great job this inning getting ahead in counts. Infield and outfield shaded to their lefts by a step or so. Oh, 2. Cotuit as a team has done a great job of going opposite field, including Camden Johnson, his lone hit, a single down the left field line. Plenty of free real estate on that side of the diamond. Swing and a miss. Ball skips away from Capisi. He'll throw down to first. 2 up, 2 down.
Landry out there for YD has had a pretty up and down outing, but the NAIA guy is, I'd say, hanging with these Division I Cape League bats pretty well. Struck out a handful.
Well, Landry had great numbers at Hope International. Went 82 1/3 innings. There will be a meeting on the mound for the Red Sox, and this appears to be the end of the night for Joshua Landry, who can hang his cap after, like you called it, an up and down first appearance for the Red Sox this season, but nothing to really be upset about. Able to work a solid 6th and a solid 8th inning. We'll tell you all about the new pitcher for the Red Sox after this break. Tom Desch out on the mound for the Red Sox. 6'2", 220. Hometown of Henderson, Nevada, plays his college ball at the University of Nevada, Reno.
And he's been a guy who's improved every year, down to a 415 earned run average this year. And he's a guy who started at the JUCO level, then went to Dominican University, a Division II school, and he's found himself at Nevada where he's really pitched quite well, and even saw some time in the Coastal Plain League last summer. I saw him with Holly Springs, and it's impressive to see his rise here because I got to be honest, the control was all over the place when I saw him last summer, and he's done well enough with Nevada to get a gig on Cape, so salute to him.
No, his control hasn't been an issue this summer. This is his 9th appearance of the season, all of them in relief. He's thrown 12 innings flat so far, and in those 12 innings, he's struck out 13, and he's only walked 3. It will be a righty-righty matchup. Luke Matthews is the batter. Matthews 1 for 3 today. Consistently keeping his clip above 300 on the summer. First pitch is inside. One-0, wave and a miss. Matthews is 12 for 39 on the season. Of those 12 hits, 3 of those extra base hits. Cotuit trailing by 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th. 7:30 local time. Sun's hanging up high enough to where, in my humble opinion, I think we're playing a 9th inning. 1-2. We've seen a couple of darkened, shortened Cotuit games this season. Those typically stretching to the 8 o'clock hour. 2-2. Ground ball up the middle off the mound. Carreras fields it. Throw to first. Not in time. Luke Matthews has some wheels, and he legged out an infield single.
Especially helped by that big bounce off the mound that the ball took, and Jomar Carreras had to take an extra beat to corral it before making the toss over to first. And man, Matthews made him rush the throw, and he couldn't get it in time for the speedster.
Matthews now 2 for 4 on the day, continuing to bump his average up. The batter, Taggart Tyson, pinch hit in the 7th. First pitch swung on and sliced foul down the right field line. In his pinch hit plate appearance, he doubled and drove in Luke Matthews. That really sparked what ended up being a 3-run 7th inning for the Kettleers. It was Tyson's first RBI of the summer. 0-1. Low in the dirt. Tyson having a lot of firsts in the past 24 hours. Recorded his first hit as a Kettleer last night against Chatham. Now recording his first RBI today. 1-1. Matthews with speed. He scored from first base on Tyson's double. Can get around the bases quickly. 2-1. Count will now run to 3-1. A great hitter's count. Tyson looking to showcase some of his power here. Slightly open stance. 3-1. On the ground towards short. Bell gloves it, goes to second for the easy out, and Matthews is retired there. Kettleers strand a runner. They still trail the Red Sox by 2. We head to the 9th inning here at Lowell Park. Top of the 9th. YD up 7-5 over the Kettleers. You ever heard about Caroline? She's pretty sweet, I'll tell you.
Oh, have I? Gotta love this one in between the 8th inning and Red Sox games.
Now, we're close to Boston. That tradition bleeding down on Cape, we've heard it at a couple ballparks. No different here. Got to go see former Kettleer Ryan Ritter at Fenway Park this season. Ritter making his MLB debut earlier this season for the Colorado Rockies, and as the Rockies came to Boston, Ritter got the starting nod the first 2 games of that 3-game series. Got to see one of the many next-level Kets. A total of 3 Cotuit Kettleers have made their MLB debut this season, Ritter being one of them. Count is 1-0 on Braden Dowd. Dowd today 1 for 3. He singled and came around to score in the first. Walked in the 4th, drove in a run. 1-1, shot in the air to left field, down for a base hit right in front of Dean West. A leadoff single to start things in the 9th for YD. Just the first hit allowed by Nick Greeny, who came in at the top of the 8th, was able to work a 1-2-3 inning. The batter, Garrett Wright, is 0 for 4 today. He's been struck out twice. First pitch swinging on the ground towards second. Matthews bobbles it, will toss to Farber for 1, and the throw sails in and out of play. Wright will advance to second on the E4. The Kettleers able to get the lead runner. It's a 6-4-3 ground out for Garrett Wright. Well, 6-4 on the ground out, then advancing on the E4. Just a wonky way to write it in your scorebook.
You're not wrong. I think I have G643 FC E4. Because I guess you'd call that a fielder's choice. He misses the first baseman, so he made the choice. Well, yeah, I'm going to stop talking.
Cutter Capisi up. He's 1 for 2. First pitch is fouled away. Can you run that by me one more time?
Take out the FC.
No, keep it. I like it.
Well, I think it's technically a fielder's choice, but not in like the official scoring. I don't want to get too into the weeds here on scoring dynamics on a baseball broadcast.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ripped in the air, right center field down. Getting the wave around third for a brief moment was Garrett Wright. At the last moment, threw on the brakes. A couple of late holds at third base. But we've yet to see a Red Sox. Check that. We've seen one Red Sox thrown out at home. That was Jack Bell back in the 4th inning. Runners on the corners. Pinch hitting for Will Baker is the 6'6" Will Gasparino. Pinch running at first base for Connor Capisi is A.J. Nessler. There'll be a meeting on the mound. Tim O'Connor walking out to talk things over with Nick Greeny. And we'll use this time to tell you that this broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. Copyright, copy read.
That's incredible.
Boom, baby. We keep things legal clean up here in the Kettleers broadcast booth. Here's the first offering to Gasparino, who shows bunt and places it down the first base line. Sanderson will take it to the bag himself, but that brings in the Red Sox 8th run of the ball game. A great sacrifice bunt from the 6'6" Will Gasparino.
Got it done, placed it down the first base line. He almost legged it out, too. Sanderson had to come out of his position to field it. Got back just in time, though.
9-hole hitter Jack Bell up. Takes a cut and misses at the first pitch. Bell is 0 for 3 today. He was walked in one of his plate appearances and then reached via an error. Able to drive in a run at that at-bat. Count now even 1-1 on Bell. Fly ball towards left field. Dean West giving chase near the line will make the catch. Side is retired, but the Red Sox able to play to run. The Kettleers needing a 3 spot in the bottom of the 9th to salvage a tie. 4 to take home a walk-off win. When we return, it will be Lavin, West, and Bougainville due up on Cape League TV. extra inning walk-off winner for the Kettleers. The Kets have been successful when the game goes to extra innings, 3-1 in those 10th inning affairs. Here's the first pitch to Luke Lavin. Chopper towards first. Carpentier took it himself, one away. West now up. He is 0 for 2. He's been walked a pair of times today. Dean on the season. 10 walks, 10 strikeouts. Great plate discipline. Continuing to get on base at a 450-plus clip. Infield shaded to their lefts. On the ground, right side. Backhanded Carreras comes up with it and fires in time. 2 up, 2 down. A dazzling display of defense by Jomar Carreras at second base.
It was quite the play. He was ranging to his opposite side, had to stick the glove out around his body to snatch it. Made a really nice throw over. He's a whiz over there.
Kettleers down to their final out. Easton Winfield pinch hitting for Caden Bogenpole. Winfield last night against Chatham was the leadoff man for the Kettleers. Had an 0 for day, went 0 for 4. But he's been solid as a pinch hitter. Takes a strike. One. Inside, brushes Winfield back. Cats will have another home game tomorrow, that one against Wareham. Same start time, 5 o'clock. You can find that on Cape League TV or the Kettleers digital network. Cotuit and Wareham vying things out in the Western Division. 2-1. High chopper towards Carreras. Comes in. Glove toss to first. A fitting way to end it. Some more great defense from YD, who will walk away with an 8-5 win over the Kettleers. YD up to 15-9-2 on the season. 32 points. They stand alone atop the Eastern Division. Cotuit 11-13-2, staying put at 24 points, but they're vying for the top spot in the Western Division still.
They sure are. Just behind Wareham. Well, I guess that depends on what they do here tonight. And just taking a look at the scores, Wareham's down 7-5 to Harwich, so Cotuit rooting for a Wareham loss to help them stay up in the standings. Not to mention Falmouth is losing 3-12.
Cotuit, if things go the way the Cats want, can stay put at tied for first in the West tonight if some results hold. So no need to fret if you're a Kettleers fan. Still plenty of baseball to be played. Now, what are we, 13 games to go? Just wrapped up game 26.
Jeez. That was 27. 12 games to go. Don't remind me.
Time is flying by here this summer. And Cotuit continuing to ride some good hitting here in the month of July. 5 runs on 7 hits. Now in our Cotuit Kettleers post-game show, Chris Albright joined alongside Connor Shue. Been a lot of baseball being played over the past couple of weeks for Cotuit. All-Star game coming up, a couple of days off, but you're in the middle of July, dog days of summer. This is where you really make or break your season. If teams buckle down, continue to play solid, this will get you that top playoff spot. But if you get a little tired, hang your head too much, you're slowly slipping.
It's true. And Cotuit has survived the dog days to this point. I mean, they're 8-4-1 still in the month of July with tonight's loss. So you can't hang your head too much if you're the Kettleers. There's still those 12 games to play, and they're still right there. And, obviously you don't want to lower expectations, but all you need to do is just stay out of last place, and you have a chance to play in the playoff.
Winning pitcher tonight, Michael Catalano. He went 5 innings flat, allowed only 2 runs on 3 hits, walked 2, struck out 7. ERA currently sitting at 2.75. He's been having a solid summer. Peyton Menka gets charged with the loss. Went 3 innings flat, allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of those earned. Walked 1 and struck out 3. And then getting the save for YD, Dom Desch, who came in to retire the final 4 Kettleer batters.
He was really good late, and he was helped out by his second baseman, Jomar Carreras, greatly, but that doesn't take away from how well he looked out there.
Desch's second save of the season. Didn't need a strikeout, didn't need a walk. All 4 outs he got were ground outs. Stayed within the infield.
That's what you do. You pitch to contact, and you'll see success at times, and the Kettleers were just driving it into the ground all day today. Just kind of had a hard time putting the ball in the air consistently, it seemed like. Just the approach, it looked a little bit more like how they were hitting earlier this season, and maybe just not seeing the ball as well, not seeing as level of swings, and as a result, not getting as many hits as you would like. And they still managed to plate 5 on 7 hits, so not a bad display of offense by any means, but they got more in the tank.
If you take a look at the positives, Cotuit, outside of that first inning where Whitey scored 5 runs, did a good job of limiting damage for the Red Sox, only surrendering 3 more runs in the remaining 8 innings. So some more solid pitching for Cotuit. Other than that, I mean, it was just a down day for the Kettleers. Came into this one on a 3-game winning streak, so you're not expecting a loss, but you can't win every single game.
You certainly can't, and now again, if you're Cotuit, you just got to look ahead in this one. And taking a look at the schedule, it looks like we've got Wareham at Wareham tomorrow.
I think that one's a home game.
Well, Wareham at home. How about that? We're not used to the back-to-back home games. I just instinctively said, this is a road game, but no, we're hanging out here at Lowell Park tomorrow.
First time having back-to-back home games since June 20th and 21st, just about a month ago.
It's going to be Christmas in July tomorrow, too.
Is it now?
It is.
Would you look at that? We are going to see Old St. Nicholas. Are you going to dress up?
Well, TBD. We'll see.
Could break out our Christmas sweaters. I didn't bring mine. I didn't look ahead at the theme nights, but Christmas in July. If you're local in Cotuit, come have some holiday cheer. If you want to just watch Connor and I, we'll be singing Christmas carols up in the booth tomorrow. We'll take suggestions. If you're still listening, give the Cotuit social media a shout on what Christmas carols Connor and I should sing throughout the game.
Maybe a little, we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
There we go. I'm thinking 12 Days of Christmas in its entirety throughout the innings. We'll make it Kettleers themed. We'll have some fun tomorrow. Ket's taking on Wareham. Both teams today, as of right now, not factoring in the games tonight, tied atop the Western Division, both with 24 points. So plenty at stake to play for tomorrow. In that matchup between Western Division foes, looks like it will be Robert Evans on the mound for Cotuit, McGuire on the mound for Wareham. Those starting pitchers still to be determined, but those are the probable starters. Connor Shue, any last thoughts for tonight's game?
Kettleers, a solid offensive day. Pitching wasn't what it usually is, but I think we'll see him bounce right back after this one.
For Brooke Kilgore, Connor Shue, our producer and director, Sorka Lewis and Riley Lewis, I'm Chris Albright saying good night from Lowell Park. Kets drop a close one to the Red Sox. We'll see you tomorrow.